You get that fun of just catching them. There's nothing more just setting the hook and throwing it back in the water and catching more. I mean, it's just something you gotta love to do. You got all kinds of fish styles. You got bass fishing, catfishing. Really, I mean, any type of fishing, really. Catch anything in the water. Personally, favorite kind is bass fishing, is because you're like constantly casting the rod. You're not just having to sit there all like just bored. I started fishing when I was a little kid with my dad. We always came here to Crowfield Lake, always just brim fish and catfish. But then when I started doing it by myself, it was really just bass fishing because I just really enjoyed catching fish. My favorite time to fish is the fall because it's nice and cool. You don't break a sweat fishing. It's really enjoyable. You don't mind being out in nature, just casting a rod. I personally don't use really much tools besides like my fishing rod, and I might have like a pack of bait or rubber worms in my pocket. But I mean, you have pliers you can use to get the hook out of the mouth, or gloves, but really none of that's really necessary. You just have to know how to cast a rod. I mean, there's nothing much to it. You just gotta like doing it. The biggest fish I've caught is a 12-pound bass. I have the mount in my house. I mean, that thing put up a really big fight. It's just always fun when you catch a big fish like that. One of the safety precautions I realize is make sure when you're fishing you watch where you step, because a lot of times there's gators you don't even see, and there's snakes, a lot of snakes, water moccasins, and a lot of ant hills by the water. When you're trying to find a good spot, especially during the spawn, you want to look for a lot of beds. That's where the fish, they come when they mate. They sit on these beds, and when you see a lot of old beds, that means there's a lot of fish in the area, and a lot of structure like fallen branches or fallen trees in the water, stuff like that. Sometimes I just call it a day. I mean, I don't really have bad fishing days, really. I always catch big ones.